Okay, so good morning, members. Welcome to the daily update from the Alex. As you know, so let's go and see what's going on first on the world markets, and then we can go over the main cryptos, and of course, we will go over the top five, which I looked through the a list of different categories of cryptos, and I look at the charts and I selected a couple of them which has the best technical outlook for the potential entries, not maybe now, but maybe very soon, as potential bottom in the Bitcoin, which is still unconfirmed, might actually happen. So let me start with looking what's going on the worldwide markets. I'm just waiting this trading view to start rolling here, and then we will go and see what's going on the world markets, and actually try to see what happened during the night. Okay, so let's see what's going on. So S&P minus 1.2, the market is still closed. We have also Nasdaq. This is the quotes from yesterday. Japan, of course, which is closed now, went down, maybe following what's happened in the Western world, but maybe also the markets in Asia started moving lower, will affect the open on the markets. So let's see what's going on with this on the charts. Let's look where the S&P is. Yeah, Japan made a kind of a similar correction as the S&P. As you know, S&P here on the wave count looks for a potential support here, or a little bit lower around 5,000. I think that will be a good support for a potential reversal. Rates are at the resistance levels we pointed out yesterday. The RSI on rates are pretty high, so I will not like to see for the markets in general to be in the risk on mode, that rates continue much further higher. That will be unlikely good for stocks, and consequently definitely not good for cryptos from that respect. So we will see when markets opens. Bitcoin didn't do much overnight. We went slightly lower, but with a certain resistance. So if we look daily chart, we are still within the potential corrective pullback down to, let's say, 60 or 59K. I labeled this as a WXY. You can also have the case that this is a flat, but basically it is the same result, same target. So this wave structure doesn't change much. The support levels around 59, 58K and 60, very closer to 61K. So we will see. Also, if you can see this week here, if the Bitcoin starts to move higher from here in a five-way fashion on the upside, that will be just a small truncation. I have seen that happening many times in cryptos. So it doesn't mean that the wave count is not valid. It means that just this week was exaggerated, and that actually we made some type of a double bottom here if we start moving higher towards this wave one in a wave five. As you know, I'm expecting at some point to see these five waves on the upside, which will be a confirmation that we have potentially a tradable low, and that on a pullback we might embark on a longs towards higher level in Bitcoin. So on Ethereum it's a similar chance, although overnight I have seen that Ethereum has held better than a Bitcoin. So if we start moving from here without touching potential target at 2785, this will be potentially the lows. If we look the daily chart, we can see that this relatively large correction is now pairing well, and mostly coming into the 1618 or 138, which I already said is one of the things for the for the Ether, specific fib ratio which on Ether reacts. 1618 will take us a little bit more in time towards April 23rd for a potential bottom. 200 moving average here is at 2500. We will definitely not like to see that. It is possible that wave 4 will go down, test these levels, and then start moving on the upside, but that is still not actually in question. So we will see how it will unfold. Anyhow, any 5 waves up from one of these levels will indicate that Ether finished this correction, and that after a pullback we might continue higher towards 4600. So for now, either on Bitcoin or on Ether, I still do look this as to be of a corrective pullbacks, and we don't have any indication for now that this is developing into impulsive wave structure further lower. Wave count invalidation on the Ether is very clear. It's at 2445. Any test of these levels, or if we move lower below these levels, will make this wave count invalid, and then we will look more for some type of midterm bearish solutions for Ether. As long as we trade above this wave count invalidation and within this potential 3 waves pullback, even if you label it as a WXY, it doesn't matter because the same targets apply. I will still observe these two things as connected and as a corrections, which means that we have a 1-2 up in 3 correction in wave 4, and I expect still wave 5 to develop on the upside. This is the same story for the Bitcoin. I will just briefly go back to show you the larger time frame. So in that sense, I do pair this wave 4 with this wave 2. Now I showed you the alternative wave count, but for now it doesn't matter currently if this is 1-2, 1-2, because anyhow we should get one more push towards 90k or immediately towards 100k. So if we see 1-2 and we are long, we're definitely going to pay attention where the 5 wave move actually unfolds, and then we will know where we will go for a potential target. So that is not, I don't see that as something which will stop us for being long if we see a confirmation that this correction is done. This is just to show you that actually I do still consider this as a corrective pullback so far. Any break below 49k will put in question of that wave count, and then we will have to see how we can look this. Is this 5 wave move in wave 3 finished? We are now in a pullback in this wave 4, and then we go to 100k. There is numerous options we can explore, but for now, as long as we trade in this sideways manner, I will look for supports around 60 to 58, 57k. In Bitcoin, also daily RSI is approaching these levels around 30, which will be a good bouncing levels potential for a potential another move higher in the Bitcoin towards these targets. So let's look what's going on Binance Coin. Binance Coin is holding well, I must say. So we are still observing this pullback in this wave 4. Are we gonna touch one more point here and test 496? This is left to be seen. Of course, the same things applies here. This doesn't look like a bullish development. It can be a flat, and if we start moving higher here, of course, the same thing will apply. If we see some potential development on the upside, we will see in this case either a primary or a lesser degree development on the upside, but definitely we will test these levels and these upper levels and then continue higher. So I'm still continuing to observe this as a potential correction on the Binance Coin. So let's look what's going on Solana. Solana is lower 3.4551 now percent. So from that perspective, I also explained yesterday why do I see this still as a potential wave 4. because for me it's a quite natural, and I've seen that many times, that in this degree of a trend where we are almost pretty high and pretty close to a terminal wave 3 highs, it is a kind of a natural, you have such elongated wave 4 which actually tested the wave count invalidation level. On daily we are very low at the RSI, we touched 29 and bounced back, and on Solana on a smaller time frame, I would like to see, of course, that we stay above this wave count invalidation. If this turns out to be some weird wave 1 flat in 2 and we start moving higher, then we can say this was a low in Solana, and then wait for some pullbacks for potentially to climb on the bullish uptrend, and then follow that towards targets which goes around 280, 270 up to 300 in Solana. So as long as we stay above this wave count invalidation, we will consider this to be this wave 4, pairing that with this wave 2. Wave 4 is larger, which is normal, and especially at this degree of a trend where we are probably witnessing the last sequence on the upside before Solana goes into a bigger consolidation, which will be a green wave 4 in one form. We don't know that currently. We might test 82, we might go in a triangle towards 120, 130. So we will see how this correction will unfold when the time comes. So that is for the main cryptos. Let's look the top 5. So I have looked the list of the top 5, and I will show you the chart which I picked from the list and categories which I made here. So you have a crypto categories here, which is pretty large. There is a layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. We have storage, we have meme coins, we have AI, we have chains, we have gaming, we have also DEX, decentralized exchanges, and we also have banking. I will keep adding a couple of more important categories of cryptos so we can look for a potential potential opportunities there. For this week, I have chosen a top 5. I already made this morning an Excel file which will be posted in the top 5. I will probably add charts maybe next week to this Excel file, but here you will have all the informations. Of course, I will add some colors to make this list interesting. You have a ticker, you have a name, you have a description, to which category does it falls. You have a support levels, you have a Elliott wave position here, technical position, which means where the RSI or MACD are, and resistance levels where the possible exits are. So I'm gonna go and look at the charts of all of these cryptos that you can see what I'm thinking. So first one is Stacks. It belongs to the layer 2, and if you look the chart, I'm looking for a potential intermediary yellow wave 4. So if you look this sequence, this is a wave 1 and 2, and now we are working higher towards the potential wave 3. I look this correction here as the yellow wave 4, and I have 2 support levels. I still need to see where are we going to touch lower levels, or we're going to continue higher from here. But anyhow, I put in the Excel file 1.7 to 2 for possible support levels, and we need to track this. But I see opportunity here, because if this is the correct wave count, we are in the yellow wave 4, which has an opportunity to go higher in the 5 waves for the yellow wave 5. So that will be the first one. The second one will be ICP, which goes into different categories, but I put it here because it also has a storage capacity, so I put it here in the storage. So I do see ICP potentially in a wave 1, ABC pullback in a flat in a wave 2. So test of this 983 is possible on the ICP, and then bounce in a 5 waves and a pullback gives an opportunity for a potential longs with the small stops. RSI on daily is around 32, 31, so it's a favorable situation. We might have one more push to the downside, touch this 200 moving average, and then depends on your preference. You can try to catch up these lower levels or wait for a confirmation and then continuation on the upside. The next one is TIA. TIA was holding very well on several things, even during Iran attack during the weekend. So I have TIA here on the multi-wave. So I think we are developing potentially some good wave structure in TIA. So from lows, we have here potential 5 waves up, and then we have a ABC for WXY, which came to our target, and potentially we are developing higher degree wave A or 1 for the further upside. And even if I go on a smaller time frame, I see a potential from lows. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which will be initial impulse wave, and this is just a bit drawn out correction, which already, in my opinion, subdivided into orange wave 1. We might see in the initial test and pullback when stocks open around 962 or around 9, from where I think potentially TIA might go and start to move up in this green wave 3, 4, and 5 to actually form a wave 1 on the larger time frame. So I see a potential opportunity here, either from these levels, or if we test a little bit lower levels, this wave 2 will go there, and then from then TIA might start to continue further on the upside. If we see the immediate move, that will not change much of the wave count. We will just anchor the wave 2 here and start looking TIA for moving higher into orange wave 3, 4, and 5, and then green wave 5 for the wave 1, and then we will expect correction lower. So the next two are unfortunately from not my favorite cryptos. It's the meme coins. I looked Pepe. Pepe also looks that it is in a wave 4 correction. So if you see developments from lows, you see 5 waves up, complex pullback down in a wave 2. We see a sharp wave 3 almost going above 2, which is the Fib ratio, which is in between 1618 and 2618. And then we see a 3 wave correction here, which actually reached 0.38%, which is ideal place for a potential wave 4. And the RSI on daily is around 32. So I expect to see from these levels or a touch lower 5 waves up and a pullback is the potential entry for a potential further developments higher into this wave 5. As I said, meme coins are not my cup of tea, but anyhow the wave structure suggests these guys might go higher. And a last one for the potential top 5 for this week will be Floki. Floki also is in the category of meme coins, but they actually changed the nature of this blockchain. Now it has more utility added to it, so I think it doesn't even fall into a category of the meme coin anymore, but situation is the similar. We have a 5 waves up, we have a pullback, we have a sharp wave 3, so I look this as a wave 4 reaching 0.382% retracement, and from here or a touch lower I expect to see 5 waves up and a pullback, which is a small risk entry for the continuation of this move higher towards this blue wave 5 on Floki. So of course, as you know, I'm tracking the wave counts in all of these guys. I just see a bigger potential on the upside on this wave 5 currently. There is a couple of others which are looking good, but I chose this wave 5 for this week, and of course I will go through this list every week, adding new sections, and I will pick most likely over the weekends when I have time the best 5 looking charts, and I will be posting that into a top 5. I will post of course only the Excel file, and you can look the video for the placement of the waves, and I might from the next week add the charts in the Excel file, so you can immediately you can see where I stand on it. So a video on the crypto stocks will be recorded during the day and posted as well. I will of course go and I mean maybe we can do it even now for the crypto related stocks. Let me see if I have the wave counts there. Yeah, the wave counts vanished, so I will have to do them most probably on most of them. TradingView does that. So I will redo these wave counts on the stocks and record a new video for you that you can see where the crypto related stocks are and where are the supports for a potential return to the uptrend on the crypto related stocks. So thank you guys. If you had the audio problems, it's probably because of the stream. I will put this recorded video to be processed, and it will be probably in 5 minutes up in the daily market update channel, so you can look at it peacefully without disturbance. So I'm here, guys, as you know, monitoring what's going on the market. We'll post charts, and we see each other later, guys. Daily update will be posted in a couple of minutes in the daily market update channel, so you can go there and review it. So thank you guys, and see you later. Bye bye.